What time is it? Does anyone really truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all of the game's settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. And now the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games are meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. Aw, no, don't leave! There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Talk soon. Aww. Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So, after trying it out again, I've basically realized that the ending I really wanted to show off, essentially the true ending of the base game, is glitched. It is glitched, and it will not, load. The ending just will not load.
What could it mean?
So that is
Stanley
unfortunate.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That is very unfortunate, but that is very unfortunate, but we need to move on.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Alright, let's go see what the new content is!
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Give me the content! I need the content! Give it to me!
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
You can jump! Alright.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Ooh. Black Void. Thank you for enjoying
That's
the new
it?
content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Yeah, I would like that, narrator. I did not use all of my jumps. I did not use all of my jumps for a reason. It's because the jump circle does come back later.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
That leads back to the regular office. So
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking of how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
whoa.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences
that's so
like the launch
freaky.
of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Oh, it's just a black void now. Okay. That was so weird. Like, there was a reflection in the doorway. The memory zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
2013, when the Stanley Parable was released. Stanley Parable on Steam. Memory, sweet memory. Don't forget the Stanley Parable. Our First Kiss, My First Car, the release of the Stanley Parable in 2013. 2013. Oh man. '14 Independent Games Festival Audience Award, the Stanley Parable. British Academy of Film and Television Arts, Stanley Parable instead of The Last of Us in the category of story. Good times. The original remake, the Stanley Parable. It was, because the original version of the Stanley Parable was very different from the one that got released in 2013. They remade the game for the 2013 release. So, $1. Trip down memory lane. Smile because it happened. Stanley Parable Alpha Test. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Stanley Parable demonstration. Yeah. The Game Grumps played the demonstration. They played the demo. Nominated for a bunch of different stuff. It got nominated for a bunch of different stuff. New video game releasing today. Creator surprisingly down to earth. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Remember when Stanley was dead? In loving memory, Little Stanley. And you play it, and they play a little. I'm pretty sure this is French. I'm pretty sure this is a French song. They play that for Little Stanley here. It's really nice.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Yep, the Stanley Parable, the original menu. Oh god. Person of the Year, Stanley. There's Mariella and Stanley. Little amiibo figures of Stanley and Mariella. Hey, I would buy those amiibos. I would totally buy those amiibos in a heartbeat. That'd be amazing. Oh, and there's Minecraft. When they had Minecraft in the world in the game. The red door and the blue door.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
And there we go. Look at that. There's the serious room. That is a ending of the game that you cannot access in the console port. The serious ending. You cannot access that ending. So that is very unfortunate.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh, Pressurized Gas reviews. Interesting. In the PC version, it's Steam reviewers. That's interesting.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny!
I love the way he says it.
I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Funny. Oh my god, it's too good. I love the narrator. The narrator is just amazing.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Oh no, it's okay, narrator. It's okay.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices are what happened. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These...
Oh boy, I actually feel really bad for the narrator.
Hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret.
Well, the tree's dead and the narrator isn't saying anything to me. Well, the clock fell down, and it's beeping because it's low battery.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the... The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never
No.
the end, is never the end,
Oh,
is
no.
never the end, is never the
Oh
end.
no, I've driven him mad. I've driven him insane. Oh. Oh, there's leaking. Ooh. Well, there's a hole, but I can't climb out. Oh. Well, hey, at least I now have some beautiful plants. And they're dead. Oh, that's creepy. Oh, that's creepy. I don't like that. Skip. Oh. Oh no. The skip button. It doesn't work anymore. Oh! An opening. Here we go. Let's go. Towards the suns. Let's go towards the sun. Man.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Ooh. Gonna show me something real exciting, narrator? Ooh. I'm curious what it is.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this Ultra Deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this Ultra Deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, Stanley Parable 2!
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior
The
to
end is
a
never the
measly
end again.
port with a few minor
427.
additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why are there so many possibilities? It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Zwei, dos, tvo. Man.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Oh, that's so weird. Oh my god, the two looks so weird when you move around like that. Oh, that's so weird. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old plus busted. New hotness. Boring section of the chart, cool red section of the chart. They're back. 2 doors. Stanley Parable 2. More the Stanley Parable, better the Stanley Parable. Sequential mindshare, paradigm shift, synergy, brick and mortar approach, color red, leverage, holistic value. Oh, the fern! Stanley Parable 2. There's 2 Stanleys.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts...
The Stanley Parable is the prequel to the Stanley Parable 2, is the sequel to the Stanley Parable.
Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, City, Divinity, Original Sin 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Char, Dark Souls 2. This way to the show floor.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Now, if you pick Happy 12th Birthday, he'll go for Get Well Someday. So, I'm curious if I pick Get Well Someday, if he'll go for Happy 12th Birthday, or if he's just always going to go for Happy 12th Birthday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Okay. So yeah.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
No, let's not go there yet. I want to make sure that I'm actually doing everything here. Get a trophy. Nice.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
All right.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
The baby is all grown up. Bankruptcy. Oh my god. Oh, that's good. That's funny. Red is the new orange. That was Morse code. The new updated ray trace, more of the same, but in a good way. Sequel to the Stanley Parable. New features, new content, new ideas. Jump circle, infinite hole.
You know what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
And there we go. So I'm going to avoid going into the infinite hole for now. And I'm going to go here. Hear your name in the game. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry,
Jim.
I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim.
Yeah, so he goes on for like a solid 2 or 3 minutes just describing Jim's life. And then when you press it, he doesn't really say. When you press it, he's like, "See, wasn't it wonderful, Jim?" And that's pretty much it.
Playing frisbee on the weekend.
And,
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Jim.
Dang, I wanted to be Jim more.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Infinite hole, settings, world champion. Oh, so you get that if you end up. You can get that if you end. You can get that if you end up getting the trophy for changing every single setting, in every single way. So basically, like, I would have to spend, like, several hours, like, going 1, 2, 3. Like, I would have to do this, back out, come back in, do it again. And it would just continue on like that. And I would have to do that for this, all of these, and, well, yeah, that's off and on. But yeah, it would take several hours to actually do that to get the achievement. But if you do end up doing that, then you unlock. Then you will open this up. I may do that in a future episode, possibly. If the game ends up updating and I'm able to access the true ending of the game from the base game, if I'm able to do that, then I may end up making another video where I show that off, and as well as this. But for now, let's go ahead and go get the collectible. Collect them all.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
That is honestly creepy.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Now, the end is never the end. This t-shirt is the best new feature. I saw the new content. I want the end is never the end. I want a shirt that says the end is never the end. I would absolutely buy a shirt like that.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
Bucket.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Oh.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Aw, narrator, you're gonna make me blush!
All this and more awaits you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Alright. We're gonna go to the infinite hole.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Let's try it.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great! Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever.
No,
There
no, I don't
really
believe
are so
you.
many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again, so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know, I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put
I
all
don't
this
speak,
behind
so
us and
that's
agree
all
to
you,
just
buddy.
call the hole mostly infinite. If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Alright, fine. Alright, now... Now we head on to the exit. We've seen everything.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now? So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
I liked version 1
Who
more.
am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can whip something up. All right.
I can help.
Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh, okay. What's the new title screen gonna look like? The Stanley Parable 2. Oh. Ooh, now that's cool. That is cool. That's nice. I like that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
Happy 12th
decided to go
birthday,
to the meeting room.
Stepnies.
Perhaps he had simply
Well,
missed a memo.
we got some color. We got color in the office. That's nice. Bucket. Bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Bucket. Bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired. Perhaps truly at home, here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Anything else?
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Any more dialogue, or is that it? Okay, I think that's it.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
I could go there. But let's go and see what ending we can get.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
And there we go. So, starting in the next episode, we will be covering some of the, we will be going back over some of the endings that we've previously gotten. With the bucket. So, yeah. But that will be, that will come out next Sunday. We will do that next Sunday. So that's going to be it for this video. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good jazz. And Stanley, I, and the bucket will all see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.